Welcome to this edition of Football 101. I'm your host, Joshua De Matos.
This is Andre Soclau.
And in this week's episode, a lot of the giants in football were in action. We have the London derby.
Oh, yeah.
In Germany, we have Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich. Now, if Dortmund get this victory, they will literally be 2 points behind Bayern Munich. So title race will definitely be on if they win.
And we were making fun of that just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, it's done and dusted. Well, look how wrong we were.
Yes. In Italy, we have third versus fourth Roma versus Fiorentina. Roma on a good run thus far, and Fiorentina as well. So who would win between those two? And in Spain, Cristiano Ronaldo scored 4 goals, and none of them were from the penalty spot.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a good episode of Football 101 coming up right here. So like I said, we're going to start things off in the English Premier League, the London derby.
Oh, yes.
I think it's safe to say that this London derby, they could probably say from the past 5 years, is probably the most important game as it pertains to the EPL title.
Yes, listen, throughout the seasons, it's steadily built. I mean, they always had the rivalry. Hence the name.
Yeah.
But with the aspirations of Arsenal and Pochettino, this one in particular was one I was looking forward to. Tottenham has eyes on that trophy.
Exactly.
Pochettino wants it. Wenger wants the trophy. This is the year they should have been winning. We keep saying that.
Yeah.
But Arsenal do what they always do and fumble things around and make things hard for themselves.
Yes.
So this was really an exciting game, even if you are neutral. If you don't like either team, this was probably an exciting game to watch.
Yes, I mean, if you look at it, I think Arsenal's best player for the season was not in the starting lineup. That's Peter Cech, due to an injury he sustained in the previous game. So Ospina came in the goals, and it finished 2-2. Basically, that favors Leicester City.
Yes, it does.
I think if Ranieri wanted a result, he would have preferred if the two teams could have lost this game. But that's impossible.
Yes.
So a draw would do for him.
Yeah, Ranieri's probably sitting back, kicking back in his Leicester City chair, drinking his red wine or whatever Ranieri does, and looking at these two guys punch each other out.
Yes.
And he's like, yes, I'm going to cruise to the final. And you know what? We keep saying this over and over, but it seems as if destiny is in there. It's just in favor of Leicester City winning because that's probably the ideal result for him. So.
I mean, when you look at it, the game changed basically, or I shouldn't say changed, when Coquelin got sent off.
Yep.
It looked as though Tottenham was just going to take this game and win it by at least 4 to 5 goals with the way they were playing. But then, bam, they get back a goal, and it finished 2-2. They actually had great chances coming down to the end to actually steal the 3 points.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't to be. So this one ends 2-2. I know Pochettino wouldn't like that. I mean, not having a good run thus far, losing to West Ham in the midweek games, now dropping points here against Arsenal.
It definitely felt like a loss for them. Yeah. I'm sure he considers that 2 points dropped. They were more than capable in the form they are in to beat Arsenal.
Yeah.
But this is football. These incidents happen. The red card and so on. And listen, I still think they shouldn't get too down on themselves.
Yeah.
But I think the excitement of winning the actual league is something that may be a bit distracting. But listen, Tottenham Wenger might probably walk away the happier one.
That's true. So tough luck there to the Spurs. I mean, you all had 2 great opportunities to get back some points on Leicester, with Leicester drawing midweek, but then Arsenal and Spurs lost midweek, and now this game with a draw. So tough luck to Spurs and all the Arsenal fans. But talk of the town, Leicester City. They were in action. They obviously saw this game 0-0, knowing that a win against Watford would carry them even further away in that title.
Yeah.
And they did what they do best. Mahrez with a beautiful strike, winning this one by 1-0 against a Watford team that gave Manchester United a really hard run midweek.
Yeah, listen, Watford is no easy team. They have pacey forwards, as you said in Manchester United.
Yes.
But what really impresses me with this Leicester City team is that you would think the pressure of getting results after a game like this would weigh on them.
Yeah.
But they have shown consistently throughout the season that they are more than capable of handling the pressure. And maybe the fact that they are not favourites works in their favour. And I think it's just amazing. Yeah. Like, you could do the punditry and the calculations and the analysis.
Yeah.
Nobody in their right mind could say that Leicester City will be doing what they're doing.
Exactly. And at the end of the game, they interviewed Claudio, and they asked him, you're just living the dream. And his response was like, no, we're not living a dream. We work for what we have to get. And that in itself, I mean, any manager could have easily said, you know what, yes, we really exceeded our expectations, and this is amazing. But he's sticking to what he's doing, taking one match at a time and doing his do. Leicester City, if you look at it last year, at the same point in time in the league, were in last place.
Yeah.
They are now in first place, 41 more points than they had last season.
Yeah, and comfortably so. I mean, it's not just some freak of nature.
Exactly.
Freak of results. Everybody is tripping over themselves, and they have been consistently doing well.
Yeah.
And listen, for years, Ranieri has been always been the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah.
In every country, people made fun of him, including Jose Mourinho.
Yes.
And you know, it's funny how it works, because Jose Mourinho had one of his most horrendous seasons ever in life.
Yeah.
I mean, like, love him or hate him, he always did well.
Yeah.
And he always fell back on his record. But in this particular case, you know, he literally lost the changing room at Chelsea, and Ranieri is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
So listen, congrats to you, the Tinker Man, Ranieri.
Yes. So well done to Leicester. You know, we spent a little extra time on them, but they deserve it, as I like to say. So Manchester City, they were in action versus last place Aston Villa, and they came away victors by 4-0. Great job by Manchester City. Well-deserved victory, but yet again, Manchester City not consistent with their results. They'll get a big victory, then they'll get a draw, they'll get a loss, and that's why they're in fourth place still.
Yeah, you know, at the beginning of the season, they looked like, you know, a title-winning team.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was very hard to argue that they were not looking the part.
Yeah.
And then eventually, inconsistency, the heavy reliance on Aguero, Toure, company showed. Because when these guys don't perform, Man City suffers greatly.
Yes.
So, you know, listen, they performed well today. And Pellegrini saying, even at one point after the game, you know, Aguero's form is very important.
Yeah.
And it shows, again, if Aguero doesn't score goals, they seem to really struggle.
Yeah.
And, you know, listen, they need to, next season at least, when Pep comes in, that's something Pep will have to work on.
Yes. So if you look at it, we have the four big teams. We have Leicester City in first. We have Spurs in second, Arsenal followed by Manchester City. Now we have 9 games to go to the end of the season. Manchester City has 1 game in hand. So if you look at the teams in which you could say are difficult games for these teams, Leicester City have a really good run. All they have to do, they have a game away against West Ham.
Yeah.
I consider West Ham a hard team because they, for some reason, have just been beating all of the top 6 teams.
Yes, yes.
And they're in 5th place as well. If you look at Spurs, well, like I said, Leicester City, they have West Ham, Manchester United, and Chelsea on the last day.
Yeah.
It's an easy run. Manchester United, you don't know which Manchester United is going to show up, and Chelsea at the end of the season.
You know, so you know the fixture list. Even Ranieri was recently complaining about the congestion, but I think the fixture list plays a huge part in the outcome of this race. I think Leicester City, pretty much in my eyes, should be fine because they faced all the obstacles that you would expect them to fail.
Yeah.
And I could see Ranieri having enough discipline for them to go over the line.
Yeah, I mean, as you see it there on the screen, you can see Spurs, they have Liverpool, United, Stoke, I consider Stoke a difficult game, and Chelsea. Arsenal, they just have West Ham and Manchester City. And Manchester City, they have to play United, Chelsea, Stoke, and Arsenal still.
So barring a big collapse from Leicester City, and City miraculously winning all those difficult games, I really can't see anything else other than the obvious outcome.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think the Gunners, they have an easier run. Only 2 tough games you could really see coming down to the end. But, I mean, coming off that defeat, then coming against this draw against Tottenham, you really can't see them picking up a good run. It's 9 games, so a good run could still carry them to the top. So, Leicester City, they're on top of the table for now. We're always saying that, you know, they're going to, it's going to happen where they're going to, in this little point of games here, they're going to slip up and they're going to drop off.
Yes, you know, but
they're just not.
Let's hope. I'm a neutral. I want them to win. Arsenal is more than capable. They have the ingredients, and that's what frustrates people about Arsenal.
Yeah.
So, barring collapses, but stranger things have happened in football. So I don't want to put my foot in my mouth at the end of the season. You know, Arsenal comes and wins.
Yes.
But once it's mathematically possible, all coaches should be going for it. But based on how the trends are going, Leicester City fans, go.
Yes, let's go Foxes.